Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to Church Has Glasses. It's like Kirk Has Glasses, but on Sundays. Long-form gameplays is what Sunday mornings are for, not church. Unless that's what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you to live your life differently. Anyway, the point of today, I'm going to get right into the game. And the reason I'm going to get right into the game is because starting next week, we're doing scary games for October. So I'm going to put PowerWash Simulator on hold for a little while and probably bring it back if I get a little tired of the scary games. But also, I've been playing a lot of PowerWash Simulator, so I'm going to put that down. Going to pick up the scary games and horror movies for Mondays. But I want to get as much PowerWash simulating done as I can before that happens. So we're going to get right into the game. But the other thing I wanted to mention, after careful consideration and weighing my options, the 24-hour stream that will be happening on the 4th is going to be a public domain movie marathon. And it is going to be a collection of films that I deemed good since starting movies on the stream about 2 to 3 years ago. 2 to 3 years ago. So on November 4th, it will be a movie marathon for 24 straight hours featuring movies that I watched on this stream that I thought were good but haven't gotten back to. The official list and the order that it will be in is it's on the Extra Life page right now, which is linked in the About Me section. And I'll probably get into it on a stream later. But it is literally the reverse order of watching it on stream. The reverse chronological order of movies that I thought were good going backwards. So on November 4th, it will be a 24-hour movie marathon on Kirk Has Glasses to raise money for the kids. And it's a low goal, mostly because I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm a Rooster Teeth or I think Magic the Gathering has its own profile for Extra Life. But now what I'm going to be working on is possible incentives. Obviously, I can't afford to give everybody PS5s or anything, but I can possibly do some stuff for certain money amounts. But yeah, that's what's going to happen on November 4th. 24 hours of straight public domain movies. And what's cool about the order, I did spend probably too much time trying to figure out the movie order. And I went just with reverse chronological because that will put The Red House on the end, and another movie called The Hitchhiker, which The Red House I did already play on a stream about a year ago. For the second time, I played it for, I think it was like a birthday stream. So I was like, it's okay if we don't hit that. And The Hitchhiker is not bad, but if just by how the movies shake out, we don't end up getting to those two, I'll be happy. But movies like Penny Serenade and The Naked Kiss and Rain and The Vampire Bat, those will definitely be got to for the stream. And I think I worked out the time that pretty much the whole time will be a banger of a movie. And since it is I haven't watched Cabinet of Dr. Caligari yet. It's all been movies that I've seen on the stream before and I thought were good, but I haven't gotten back to. So that's why Charade is not on that list. Last Man on Earth is not on that list. And The Red House is only on the list because it's the very last movie. I don't think we'll end up getting to that just by how the movies will shake out in the time. But I'm only doing movies that I haven't already rewatched. So Fat Spy and the Brooklyn Gorilla are nowhere near the list. Uh, sorry, Shadow. And one thing I did do, and I'm gonna keep two or three, probably two or three Vinny Price movies on deck in the event I gotta switch it out. In the event I go, you know what, it's gotten too good, too serious. We need to break it up with some Vinny Price. I'm gonna switch out this movie for Vincent Price. I'll have two movies on deck just in case. But Vincent Price is not represented on the list only because I'm not including movies I've already watched on the stream for a second time. And Vinny Price is is one of the few where it's like, yeah, I'll watch that again. It's Vincent Price. So yeah, November 4th, in case you get some Vinny tinglers. Also, The Tingler, a Vinny Price movie, I was reading it's in the public domain. That's one of the few movies that the second I put it on YouTube, the full VOD, they were like, no, sir. You cannot put out The Tingler. That is copyright. And I'm like, according to everything I read, it is not. So I don't know what you're talking about, YouTube, but the full list is on the Extra Life page right now, which is linked down below. But yeah, I think it's like 15 or 16 movies, and most of them are like crime or drama. There's only one horror movie that I remember actually being pretty good. Good enough for me to be like, that's a good movie. But yeah, that's what's happening on the 4th. I've already mentioned horror movies and horror games for October. And I think that's it. I want to get to power washing soon because I want to at least get something done in that before putting down Power Wash Simulator for a while. I still gotta clean this dang subway platform. And also, there are more details going to be coming about incentives. Right now, the milestones set for the milestones set for the Extra Life amounts are only based on how many dollars per movie. So I believe it starts at what does it start at? I think it starts at $5 a movie and a certain amount, then $10 a movie, 15, and so forth. Basically, what were all the movies worth collectively is how it's going to be separated. But yeah. Actually, I could to kind of guide the conversation here. Let me just bring it up. All right. So, the list for the Extra Life stream goes as follows. We have Trapped by Television. I remember when I picked that one, I thought it'd be something like Last Action Hero or something where a person actually gets trapped in their television, and it wasn't like that at all. But it was pretty good, and I remember being kind of shocked, like, oh, the premise is a dude is building something for television, and I think the mob basically funds it, but then tries to extort the technology from the guy because they realize how important it is and how it's going to change the world. So Trapped by Television is up first. And I also made the cutoff of this list movies that it had been a year since I watched them. Because literally, I have done a lot of movies on the stream now. So I was, I figured I would, what's the word? I figured I would cut it off at the point where it had been a year, because those are pretty recent, and that's kind of when we got our core group of homies. So I was like, yeah, maybe a year would be a good cutoff, so that the stuff I'm playing is the movies from a while ago. So first off is Trapped by Television. Then it's Women in the Night. No, sorry. Next is The Vampire Bat, which is the only horror movie on this list. Like the only true blue horror movie. And that one's just great because it's kind of, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but it seems like a vampire is in this town, and the town is trying to kind of deal with the hysteria that comes with the idea that there might be a vampire in their town. But then there's, cynical people and realists who are trying to figure out a logical explanation. And it was surprisingly, I think there is one thing that's possibly offensive, which I'm glad it's going to be one of the first movies, because as you may or may not know, the way I do the 24-hour stream for Extra Life, which of course is to raise money for children's hospitals to help out sick kids. I start at midnight and I go through the next day. So starting at midnight, ending at 11:59. So when I say we're starting with Trapped by Television, that is at midnight on Saturday, so Saturday morning. Trapped by Television is at midnight. So then after that is The Vampire Bat. After that is Women in the Night, which is about women that have been captured by the Axis in World War II to be used as, I guess I can't beat around the bush here, to be used as sex slaves. So the movie, luckily, because of when it was made, it's not getting too into the nitty-gritty. I will fall asleep during the stream. It's totally cool. Women in the Night, I just remember it being pretty dope and pretty great for what they were allowed to get away with about women tricking Nazi higher-ups who wanted to use them for, bad business. Women in the Night. Then we have Algiers, which I'm glad that's going to be playing roughly at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Because obviously it's a good movie. It's in the good movie list, but it's also kind of slow. And it's like basically the same story as Casablanca. I believe it's a movie based on the story that Casablanca is based on. So it's a pretty simple and classic story, but Casablanca. So, and that one's also one of the longer, I think it's one of the longer ones. It's 99 minutes. So it'll that one probably will put you to sleep. Cuphead pisses me off. I've been trying to beat this level for a week. That's one of the reasons I'm definitely happy with doing movies this year. It's like I don't want to be frustrated at 4 a.m. playing a video game this year. So Gonna be watching movies. Dun, dun, dun. Show after. God damn, really, guys? Oh, it's because I don't have that on. Are you kidding? What the hell? Why don't I have my good shit on, guys? Make no sense. I'll explain it. Was Detour the one where the guy is presumed dead and moved to a small town as a mechanic? No. That one, oh, what is that one called? I think that one's called Impact. Detour is just a dude on the run. And that's after 3 Steps North, which I believe is about a man who gets out of prison and goes to get his stash, and then his stash was either moved or stolen, and then he goes on kind of like a crusade to figure out where his money is, but he's also being watched by the police because they think he's going to go back to his ways 3 Steps North. That one looks like... That one, I just remember... It was just a very good, grounded, simple, easy-to-understand story, and I dug it. But Detour is one of the movies that... when I looked up lists of best public domain movies, Detour was always on there. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's give it a shot. And then it's kind of... It's not that they're wrong. It's definitely a good movie. It's just... It has a little bit of that... like James Dean effect, I'd call it. Where they're like, oh my gosh, he's such a good actor. And it's like, is he a good actor? Or are your standards just a little bit lower for him for some reason? But yeah, that's Detour. Man on the run from the law. I think he has to either take someone hostage. I think it was a lady. He kind of has to... That's right. 3 Steps North with the dude's dad. Or daddy dude, if you wish. Rain, that was a movie that shocked me. Rain was like about people that were like stuck in this like paradise resort, and two of the people that are stuck, one of them is a sex worker and the other one is a preacher, and the preacher tries to save the soul of the sex worker and she's just like not having it. And it was like a pretty interesting movie because it has a bunch of different people and tons of different personalities and kinds of conversations and people talking about life. I just remember really, really digging it. And that's Rain, starring Joan Crawford. Then we got T-Men, and that's another movie where when I was like, okay, what are the best public domain movies? T-Men was always at the top, but I could never find it. So I was like, oh, is it one of those movies where people think it's in the public domain, but it really isn't? Because I couldn't find like a download for it. And then eventually I did. And when I watched it, I was like, yeah, this is pretty damn good. About treasury men. Basically like agents of the treasury that figure out schemes and go bust some heads, kick some ass. Yeah, I remember T-Men being pretty dope. I'm excited that... And by that point, I think I'll be in the morning. Like, in the morning of Saturday. So I think this will kind of be the good run. I think this is the good run. Because after T-Men will be Penny Serenade, which, if I remember, will be the return of Applejack. One of our favorite secondary characters in movies. Who basically did everything in Penny Serenade, but gets no credit for it. Um, The Return of Applejack and Penny Serenade. Penny Serenade. After that, Kansas City Confidential, which is about a bank robbery. And I just remember it being super dope because it actually has twists and turns, and you find out you can't trust certain people in the group. Cary Grant is no Applejack. I just remember watching that, and that's a long one, right? Penny Serenade is 2 hours, and I remember, I think Shadow at this point was a regular. I remember watching it, and we just kept like, eventually we're just like, Applejack is the best. Applejack knows how to do everything. Applejack knows everything there is to know about anything anyone's talking about. He takes care of everything. He seems to get new jobs constantly and knows exactly how to do all of them. Kansas City Confidential after that, you know, just a bank robbery movie, but it's pretty dope, pretty good. Twisty turns. After that, wasn't there a movie recently? At a ski resort. Oh, I don't remember. You're talking about on the stream, or you're talking about just like real movies in the real life? Because I vaguely remember what you're talking about, where it's just people stuck on a mountain after a bank robbery because their way out kind of fell through. But I cannot remember the name. Snow monster ate them. Oh, yeah. I wish I remember the name, but I know what you're talking about. It's one of the reasons I don't play Cuphead on here, Squirtles, because it's like, I don't want people to see me just getting more and more frustrated. Because that seems to be Cuphead's MO. It's just like, hey, do you want to be absolutely frustrated beyond all reason? Play Cuphead. Scarlet Street is after that, and Scarlet Street stars the same dude that's in Red House who killed it, and that is like about a dude who's getting tricked by a lady. A lady and this criminal are tricking this guy out of his money, and I think he finds out about it. Finds out that he's being tricked. I think that's the... I just remember really, really digging the movie, and I honestly don't remember what happens. Which is not a great sign. Fritz Lang. You can't lose at washing. It's true. You clean, and it's clean. Woman in the Window is almost identical to Scarlet Street. Hey man, if it works, I'm deleting this fucking game. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I felt when my friend tricked me into getting Bloodborne. He's like, nah, dude, Bloodborne is like so good. Bloodborne is like so good. And then after playing it for like 30 minutes or maybe an hour, I was like, dude, this game is bullshit. Why would I want to keep playing this? the lore, man, the lore. It's dark and like it's challenging, and I'm like, yeah, it's boring and stupid, and I don't want to play this anymore. I'm not having fun, which is what I thought the purpose of video games were. But after Scarlet Street, another big one, another heavy hitter, we have The Naked Kiss, which is really the one movie that I've wanted to rewatch for a while, and I just kind of just never did. The Naked Kiss is dope, dude. That one's about a woman who is a sex worker who starts in a different town, has a pretty terrible experience with a client, and then while she's leaving that experience, she like looks in the mirror and decides to change her ways. She becomes a school teacher, and then she meets a man who woos her and wants to marry her. And she thinks, oh my gosh, this guy's going to find out about my terrible secret. And then it turns out that guy has a secret. And it's a pretty dope movie. I really, really liked it. I thought it was really great considering the year it came out. I was not thinking that a movie like this could get made at that time. But it's a dope movie. The Naked Kiss. That'll be, I think, right around prime time. The lore of terrorists. Yeah, The Naked Kiss is kind of like my big hitter that I'm excited to rewatch, and that one I think will be right around prime time on Saturday for viewing. So hopefully that'll probably be the height of viewers and talking and hanging out. And then after that, we have DOA, which was another, I forgot the exact story of DOA, but it is one of those on the list of, like, best public domain movies to watch. And after I watched it, it was like, oh, yeah, I guess I can see that. It's pretty darn good. DOA, and then after DOA, it is And Then There Were None, based on the Agatha Christie book. That one was pretty dope, and I think is like the other closest to a horror movie where people just start dying, and it's a mystery as to why they're dying, and you have to there are people trying to figure out why they were all brought here to this mysterious house and why they're now all kicking the bucket. DOA. And we got Shadow with the save. So it's basically Crank, but not as good. I haven't even seen Crank. Anyways, 100% less Statham. And then two movies that round up the end. I guess The Hitchhiker is also a horror movie too. Hitchhiker, two gentlemen pick up a hitchhiker, turns out to be a murderer. He holds them off at gunpoint, and demands that they take him somewhere. Pretty simple premise, also pretty tense and pretty darn good. And then after The Hitchhiker, the last movie on the list is The Red House, movie that I have championed a lot, and one of the few movies that I rewatched, just because I remember it being so dope, and I'm so shocked it hasn't been remade by A24 or Blumhouse or somebody. Seems like a movie that you could easily remake, and it'd be pretty damn cheap, but compelling and fun. And I don't know, I'm just kind of shocked Also, it's based on a book called The Red House, and that book is ass. Book is horrible. One of the times when I was so interested in a story, I was like, I'll check out that book, and then was incredibly disappointed. But yeah, those are the movies for the 24-hour stream. Now I just got to work on possible fun things for the stream itself. Okay, well, we disagree on that, Shadow. A24 doesn't exclusively make shit. They do make some questionable things, sometimes. Subway remained closed for another 30 years until community funding allowed for its renovation. Some A24 is pretty dope. In fact, I disagree with you, Shadow. I'm just gonna whole disagree with you. I will agree that some of their decisions were interesting, but I'm cool with that because that is that's the group that's gonna come out with good new movies, the ones trying things. Like if you just have a bunch of people doing the same shit over and over, what are we left with? Nothing but trash. A typical A24 film, baby's first independent film. It's an obtuse story for morons, starring a washed-up actor desperate for a comeback. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with you. Because sometimes they buy a foreign film that is just kind of out of left field, but turns out to be pretty dope. Like Lamb. Or Ari Aster's Hereditary. Which I can understand why horror purists may not have liked it, but that movie... ooh boy. I don't know why I'm deciding to do this metal one before everything else. But, I mean, Shadow, we've already discovered that we disagree with each other a lot. For example, I'm sure you're not going to be happy with the fact that this weekend I watched Fast X. Even though I will be the first to tell people it's not a good movie, I will say it is better than the most recent Fast fare that has come out, which is 9 and 8. even though it does something that movies do that I completely despise and would wish would never happen again, but I don't think I will be granted that. There we go. They all feel like homages to Tim Burton. Pretty setting with a dark secret. I'm tired of pretentious BS. I will agree some of it is pretentious. But A24 has a lot of different shit now. Like, I would say starting out, I would agree with you. Where they were like, they were going for those independent feels and a very specific look and independent voice. But now I think they're kind of just going, give me something. And people are coming at them with, you know, crazy shit. That's one thing I like about our repartee. Shadow. So many people have movie podcasts or movie channels, movie TikToks, and it just devolves into, okay, but the Batman was mid. And it's like, bro, it was not mid. You know what's mid? Fucking Spider-Man No Way Home, bro. That's mid. And really, dude? And it's like, guys, you're both wrong. Everyone is wrong in this room. Whereas we are more like, hey, a great example, you're like, hey. Great example is you say Point Break is a bad movie. And then I go, okay, well, you're wrong. Point Break is amazing. And then we go, okay, we disagree. That's allowed. Let's all talk about how we pleasure ourselves to Shawshank. Oh, Shawshank Redemption. I do like that movie, but it's weird how, like, because everyone gets so connected to their movies. Like, I'm sure I would have an immediately bad reaction when people talk shit about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which is the original Gene Wilder one. But I also have the ability to understand that people probably won't like that movie all the time. I completely understand. Well, there is the theory that because it went to, like, what was it, like TBS? And TBS was just playing it constantly, and it was one of the few movies everybody could watch over and over again. Because it didn't have, like, it wasn't a huge hit when it came out. But it had a second life on cable and home video. There we go. Now the metal platform is clean. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize you can read the messages. Yeah. We can disagree on movies specifically, but we can agree movies are the best. The Great Escape. Yeah, movies I watched this weekend. I watched Fast X. The only way I could, without spending way too much money, was to get a Peacock account because they have them for as low as like $6. Not an ad. I'm definitely not telling you to get Peacock. So I got it for 1 month so I can watch Fast X because it's just something I gotta do. I just gotta watch it. I'll be the first to admit they're not good movies, but they do have a very interesting place in cinema history. They will hold that spot for a while, and I think they're kind of at the level where you have to acknowledge them, even if you hate them. And I enjoy watching them. They're stupid fun, and emphasis on stupid. But I'll tell you, man. I didn't even mention it. The thing it did that movies do that I hate. So it's a part 1 of, I believe, a 3-part ending, which is hilarious because it's not based on a book or anything. They are writing these as they go, so they could just write 3 complete stories. But anyway, so they end this movie with basically just a giant cliffhanger that's on par with like. It's on par with Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, or Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, or even like I'm trying to remember other Part 1 movies where you're just like, so what's the point then? Why am I watching another movie when you just couldn't distill your story down into a complete thing that could be accomplished in 2 hours? Anyway, I saw a good movie called Supermarket Woman. It's from the same guy who made Tampopo, if you've seen that. Never even heard of what you're talking about. No, and that didn't happen, Shadow, and I will tell you, because I'm sure you're aware, but there is drama between The Rock and Vin Diesel, and it's pretty clear that The Rock refuses to do any scenes with Vin Diesel ever again. So, and I'm sure you don't care about spoilers, so The Rock is in Fast X, even though he swore he wouldn't come back to the Fast and Furious, and then Black Adam tanked, so he's back now. But it's pretty clear that he's going to have a separate storyline that has nothing to do with Vin Diesel or those people, so that he can pay tribute to the fans that he suddenly cares about because he ruined his DC run, and be a part of the story but have nothing to do with Vin Diesel. So The Rock is in it for all of 1 minute, maybe even less than that. He has like one line, and he stands there listening to a phone, someone on the other side of a phone. But is this because The Rock tricked Vin Diesel into me? I don't know what the official word. I don't know what the thing is. I just know that people have said that Vin Diesel and The Rock were always kind of not the best of friends, not the best homies. And then Vin Diesel did something very specific that The Rock was like, I'm out, and just like bounced and was like, I'm done with this. Don't ever call me to do this again. I'm not going to be a part of your shit. And then, like I said before, his Black Adam movie tanked, and I think Jungle Cruise didn't do very as well as he wanted it to. I think there was another movie that didn't really go very well, so then he's like, well, I guess I can go make... Because, I'm not kidding, he's in Fast X as like a cameo, almost like a surprise. Oh my gosh, The Rock is in this. And apparently he made $1 million for one line and standing somewhere for a minute on screen. So he, you know, he making that paper. Well, I'll never get to know what that was. But yeah. Fast X. Featuring Jason Momoa as the villain, Dante. And it seems like Jason Momoa was like, I want to do my Joker impression. And they said, sure. Jungle Cruise tanked. Blasphemy. Yeah, I was... That is a movie that I kind of refuse to watch. Mostly because, like... Jungle Cruise in Disneyland is based off a movie called The African Queen that I doubt anyone who is on Jungle Cruise, even today, knows exists. So to make a movie based on a ride that is already based on a movie seems kind of ridiculous to begin with. But two, to make it based on a comedy ride where the people running the Jungle Cruise make jokes about how terrible the effects are on the ride that they're currently on, and it's all part of the spiel, and then to make it an action movie is like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Why are you doing this? But yeah, Jungle Cruise didn't do very well. Black Adam didn't do very well. And if you want to know why, just watch Black Adam. Kinda sucked. And that's coming from somebody who watched The Flash and thought, it's actually not that bad. I think that that thing was mostly killed by the fact that Ezra Miller is a known monster. If it turned out that they didn't do just a bunch of illegal shit, The Flash may have done pretty well for itself, but that's what happens when you hire mentally ill people, I guess. Am I gonna get done with the stream and all I've done is this? Oh man. Bogey and the Bad Hepburn is a... I'm pretty sure that's a ska band. And I agree with you, Shadow. The Jungle Cruise has a very specific and important purpose. And that is... Let me put you right there. I have a feeling I'm gonna need a ladder. Oh no, I don't know. Because there aren't like crevices you need to get to. You can probably get it from the floor. Oh yeah, 100%. I've never been to Six Flags for that same reason. I'm a big ol' wuss when it comes to those. And I don't care who knows it. Hey, I don't care. Don't want to be on one of those rides. Don't want to do it. I'll go to like a scare park, like not Scary Farm, Universal, Halloween Horror Nights. I'll do that kind of shit. I've learned to deal with that. But like roller coasters like that, no, no, thank you, no, thank you, sir, or madam, or neither. No, thank you, no, thank you. Anyway, I would highly recommend Tampopo. A very fun movie about people helping a lady run a ramen shop. Oh, cool. What were we talking about? Oh, The Rock and Fast. Oh, that's right. Other than Fast 9, or Fast 10, go for the food and hold people's bags. Fast 10, because I got this Peacock account for a month, I was like, I better watch some of this shit because it's a waste if I just got it for this one movie. So I watched Demon Knight, Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, which I had never really watched a lot of Tales from the Crypt. Interesting movie. Also, a lot more boobs than I expected. I thought it was based on a TV show, and as far as I know, they were probably not allowed to show tons of boobs on the TV show. But the Demon Knight was like, let's be quick to show them boobs. And Billy Zane acting like a total boob. Unrelated. Just smirking at the camera all day, Billy Zane. Also watched They Live with Rowdy Roddy Piper, and that was a great decision. That's a movie I am shocked I have not seen before, and I enjoyed thoroughly. Definitely worth the price of admission for They Live. Even when it gets to the end and the plot gets a little rambunctious on us. Keith David, man. Keith David is underrated. We need more Keith David just in life. And what else did I watch? Oh, Renfield. Nicolas Cage as Dracula, about the toxic relationship of Dracula and Renfield, which I didn't think was that bad. Now you finally... Yeah, that was... So I had never watched They Live. And, oh, the air vent is separate. I didn't know that the air vent was separate. I didn't know. And as you may or may not know, I am a huge fan of South Park. And there is a fight between Jimmy and Timmy on South Park that was hilarious. And I thought it was just hilarious because it was so long and gratuitous. And then come to find out years later, it's because it's based on the fight in They Live, which apparently was choreographed and decided on by Roddy Piper and Keith David. And it goes on for way too long. And it's way too brutal of a movie fight to just be for this movie. And oh man, it was fun. That was great. That was great. But I also watched Renfield with Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage, and I dug it. I completely understand why it didn't do very well. It has some very odd tones that don't really match up. Where it's like a very intense action movie that's gory, but it's also trying to be a horror movie and a comedy, so it's an action horror comedy. With Nicolas Cage, who apparently Nicolas Cage refuses to do movies where he's not the main character, and why would you when you're Nicolas Cage? Oh yeah, the main woman in They Live is the female lead. She has eyes that are not human. Like, I'm pretty sure she's not a human being. She was made by robots in a lab somewhere. And it was uncomfortable. I'll be honest, it was uncomfortable. Um, but apparently Nick Cage, uh, for the first time, agreed to be a supporting role just so he could play Dracula, because he's always wanted to play Dracula. And watching that movie, it's like, and you brought your Nicolas Cage A game. Because he still does Nicolas Cage shit. Like, you'd think, Nicolas Cage, he's got some, he's got some quirks that he does in movies that I'm like, okay, well, this movie, he's always wanted to be Dracula. Dracula wouldn't yell like that, so he's not going to do a full Cage yell or a Cage inflection on words, and I was wrong. He's still going to cage. He's still going to cage as hard as a cage can cage, while playing Dracula, one of the most iconic horror characters of all time. He's like, I'm still going to cage. Don't you worry. I'm going to cage so hard. Oh, yeah, that too. Nicolas Cage wanted to be a lot of things. Nicolas Cage also wanted to be a villain in Fast and the Furious, and they told him no. Which to me was like, guys, stop pretending you have any ounce of respect. Like, for real. Like, you make a lot of money. No one's doubting that. You're one of the reasons Universal is still not bought by Disney. But, dude. Like, come on. Like, your movies are not that serious. You could hire a Nick Cage to be a villain. It would probably be dope. But I don't make the decisions for Fast and Furious, clearly. He wanted to be everything but a Coppola. True. Well, he didn't want to, no offense to Nick Cage. I think he foolishly was like, oh, I'll definitely get roles if my name is Coppola, but if I'm Nick Cage, then I'll have to actually work for those roles. And it's like, everybody still knows that you're related to Francis Ford Coppola, dude. Like, you're not going to just suddenly get everybody to forget about that. It's not something that people forget. Oh, Nicholas Coppola? Yeah, he goes by Nick Cage. But we still know that he's related to Francis Ford Coppola. And Sofia Coppola. A movie maker in her own right. Ton of money. I have to go on a shopping spree after this. You better pick out the Halloween costume. I'm going to a birthday party where they're forcing people to wear costumes. And while I enjoy Halloween, I don't really enjoy Halloween costumes. And it's a dumb reason. I understand that I am the turd in the punch bowl regarding my lack of wanting to dress up. But it's just me being honest. It's just me being my authentic self. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy buying Halloween costumes. I don't like wearing Halloween costumes. 87%. Ooh. My name is Max Landis. It's Max Scumbag. I'm thinking to do a Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas. One of the coolest, even though like Disneyland, you know, I don't want to come down on anyone's high, especially Disney adults, because they'll kill you. But one of the cool character designs from Disneyland in the last couple years is they finally figured out how to do a Jack Skellington that can actually talk to the guests. Like the way that they set that up, I was like, oh, that's probably the best way you can do that. Because the dude has to be tall, he has to be a giant skeleton, but how do you make like a round head with the ability to talk to the audience? And this guy did it. Or not this guy, the designers at Disneyland did it. And it's like, that's pretty cool. Big ups to them. They hired Doug Jones. I mean, you could look it up if you're so interested, but it's just the way that they designed a human being into the costume of Jack Skellington. They're just very creative and dope. I mean, Disneyland is one of those things where like it is truly a marvel of creativity to get certain aspects of that park to look perfect for guests. But then just the absolute capitalistic, like, what's the word? The capitalistic fleecing of humanity that takes place there just ruins it. Where you're like, yeah, this is a pretty magical, cool place for everyone of all ages. It's also way too fucking expensive to get in here. It's also clear that they don't actually care about you. They care about your money. It's just a bummer. And it took way too long for me to realize it myself. So we got one bench. Two bench. My cousin is a makeup artist for haunted houses? Oh shit. Yeah, haunted houses too. Like your cousin's makeup work and the actors who need a gig, and haunted houses are always in need of more and more actors, so it gives them work. Like, haunted houses are also a great example of, like, creativity just run amok. Where it's like you have your standard haunted house shit, where you're like, every haunted house has to do this, it has to do this, it has to work like this. But then you get in the creases and the little in-betweens, you get people that are like, well, wouldn't it be dope if we did this? And you're like, yeah, that actually would be dope. And then they have a pretty dope haunted house on their hands. I should have started with these benches, because these benches are actually really frustrating to me. These nooks and crannies, nooks and crannies. One of the benches. Boom. Bench, dividers, clean. But yeah. And we're getting towards, you know, October. Means I'm going to be doing only horror movies on the stream, and probably watching a lot of horror movies in my private times. And I mean other movie watching times without stream, not, you know, what private time could mean. Anyway. You know? Oh, and Saw X comes out. Oh, shit. Forgot about that. The 10th movie in the Saw series. Which I have to watch only because I've watched all the other ones, and I have a problem. One of the weirdest versions of OCD ever. I have to watch all of the Saw movies because I've already watched most of them. But it could leave room for new horror movies. Like, I do want to see Talk to Me at some point, but I also don't want to watch that during the nighttime because it looks like it might actually freak me out. I could watch The Thing again because that movie is super dope, and I've been not watching it for too long. And I think it really does deserve... deserves its flowers and its praise. Because it is just super dope. Oh, shit. I bet the birthday person is a Tim Burton fan, too. Can neither confirm nor deny, but I'm pretty sure they are a Tim Burton fan. I mean, I liked Tim Burton before I found out most of his shit is just ripped off of, like, was it German Gothic Expressionism or something? Just a style of film that once existed that nobody uses anymore. And it's just like, oh, so literally your entire design is stolen from this movie aesthetic. Okay. Like, cool. And he can go fuck himself pretty much forever for what he said about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Because then he went ahead and made that shitty Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And it was like, oh. And he also said some shit about them using the Tim Burton Batman universe in Flash. And what he said was very like, well, yeah, yes. And I was like, man, fuck you, Tim Burton. Like, you're not allowed to talk about artistic integrity when you make that Dumbo movie. Like, really? Really? Forgot I had that coffee there. Figured I'd just kill it. You were seriously, like, as an artist, like, yearning to make a Dumbo remake? Come on. Dude, do Spider Noir. Not just because it's Nick Cage, just he looks dope. that's that's my vote. Kirk, I've never seen you answer so quickly without hesitation before. Well, you know, the spider variants, like, you know, thanks to Into the Spider-Verse and whatever, like, very popular, very hot right now, as Paris Hilton would say. But, like, I don't know. But I do think that that's just the coolest looking one to me. That or Spider-Punk, but mostly. To me, the only cowboy outfit I would want to be is Marty McFly when he first goes back to 1885. That would be a dope costume, at least in my opinion. Boom. The box is clean. I did already get some elements of a costume. That's kind of a modified costume. Because the thing I don't like about Halloween, I don't like that Halloween you spend money on something you're gonna wear once. So if I can make a costume that's kind of a combination of things that are that will become things about like parts of my regular wardrobe, that's kind of the win-win for me. And I know folks would call that cheap or whatever, and to those folks I'd say, okay, but I don't have something in my closet that I'll never wear again. And you know what? You call me a fuddy-duddy. Call me a curmudgeon. Call me whatever you wish. But yeah. I mean, the only thing that I'm like, I'd want to get the money together. I'd want to do it right. I'd want to talk to somebody who like can do costuming. I would love to have the suit from the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I would love to. It's just something you can't half-ass. And hey, man, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Good on you. Like I would love to, I would love to have like a perfect version of the Willy Wonka suit. Like I really, really would. But it's not something that I want to half-ass. It's not like I want to get a shitty one. That's kind of like the suit. Like I want something that looks exactly like it. But, you know, to do that you gotta put in the work, and it's like, I don't know. I'm just too lazy to do it. Taco Bell, I don't know. I think Taco Bell has seen worse. Or weirder. I'm sure they were just like, yeah, and what would you like today? Welcome to Taco Bell. Oh, I also rewatched the 90s Casper. I don't know if you're aware of the 90s Casper movie, Squirtle, and I don't know if Shadow remembers the 90s Casper. Came out right around my childhood and featured Christina Ricci at age-appropriate level for me at the time. And watching that movie, I think it was like, this kind of explains everything I'm attracted to now. We all had those childhood crush moments, and it molds who we become and who we are as adults. And watching that, I was like, yeah, I think this is one of them. I think this is one of the... I've never seen Casper movies. Yeah, that Casper movie had one of my little boy childhood crushes in it. Which, I don't want anyone to get weirded out by that. That's just how it works. Oh, you're talking about the kid that... Because Squirtle, just because I want to make you aware, Casper is Casper the Friendly Ghost. And it's about a ghost that just wants a friend, but everyone is too scared to hang out with him because he's a ghost. And in the 90s movie, Christina Ricci and her father move into the house to get rid of the other ghosts. I forget their names, but they're three very rude, precocious, jerk ghosts that Casper tends to. Casper's the ghost of Richie Rich. According to the original lore. I think Casper... this movie gives a different backstory where his dad is an inventor that tries to invent a way to bring ghosts back to life. Stinky, Fatso, and Stretch. Hot damn. But Christina Ricci and her dad live with these ghosts because they've been paid off by a very horrible woman who just wants the ghosts out of the property so she can look for buried treasure and sell the house for profit. It's not a great movie, but it came out when I was a child, and Christina Ricci was, I believe, 12 or 13 at the time. And the ugly kid at the end that Shadow is referring to is Devon Sawa. Devon Sawa, who was in a bunch of different movies. including Little Giants and Idle Hands, I think he was in when he was a teenager. He's also in the first Final Destination. But yeah, I remember, yeah, the ladies of the time had a crush on Devon Sawa, and they portrayed Christina Ricci as kind of like a quiet, shy, unconventional girl just trying to have a normal life when her dad is a ghost psychologist. And, yep, that was kind of like, that was Kirk's introduction to women. Young Christina Ricci. And once again, I feel like I must say, this is talking about Kirk at the age of 10 or 12, not Kirk now, because that is wrong. It's incorrect. And I am not really into Christina Ricci now, only because of her character on Yellow Jackets that scares the shit out of me. Ah, damn it, there is a lip. There is a lip, you son of a bitch. Oh, you souls. I knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew there would be a lip. And it would screw us. For Reacher and I don't know. Addams Family, yeah, Addams Family was pretty dope. I think for me it was the original Addams Family. I don't even think I watched Addams Family Values until I was an adult. And even then, I don't remember it that well. Even though I know people really like Addams Family Values. Should not have saved the ceiling for last. I think one of my childhood crushes was Scarlett Johansson. From what specifically? Come on. Avengers Black Widow. Hot damn. I'm not saying you did it intentionally, but way to make us feel a little bit old, Squirtle. Yeah, Avengers came out when I was in college, maybe? Yeah, it was when I was in college. Because they talk about it in Community, and by that point, was in college, I'm pretty sure. Oh boy. Yeah, all of mine are going to be references that you definitely don't know. Squirtle. For example, Fee from So Weird. Canadian horror show. I think I've already mentioned it before. Tawny from Even Stevens. The sister from Erie, Indiana. Hot damn. I had I forget her name, but the girl from Halloween Town. The older girl, because she has a younger sister in that. The girl who would eventually be replaced for Halloween Town 2 or 3, I think. And it's like, why'd you replace them? Oh, childhood crushes. When you're young and you don't understand. I'm trying to remember more, but I remember that people accused me, and by people I mean I think my parents and brother, they accused me of being interested in Christy Carlson Romano from Even Stevens, which was not the case. It was Tawny, who was like not in the show enough. I believe that's her name, right? Was it Tawny? Or am I mixing up my Disney Channel original shows? I also remember not enjoying Lizzie McGuire at all. Mostly because it was girl-centric. And I liked my shows about the wacky comedy stylings of Shia LaBeouf. I guess I should just wait until I have only... until I only have those sections to do. Well, apparently I can clean one light, but not the other. I don't recognize this Disney Channel crap. Ugh. Yeah, I remember probably the moment of sheer joy when Disney Plus announced that all the Disney Channel original movies would be available on it, and I was like, well, hot diggity damn. That is a W for this guy. To have all those movies. You just had to wait for those to come on, and a lot of them were seasonal. You couldn't just watch Luck of the Irish whenever you wanted to. You had to wait until March. And now they're just going to be like, boom, Smart House, boom, Johnny Tsunami, Brink, at any time you want it. It was a game changer. And also a real moment to look back at some of the shit that I liked as a kid. Like Phantom of the Megaplex, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Which Phantom of the Megaplex, I believe the point of that movie was don't be a workaholic when you're 12. Not even 12, 14. Even though the kid is trying to help support his family when I guess their father passed away, and he got a job at a movie theater and is like somehow the supervisor and or assistant manager, even though he's a minor. And it's like, that would not happen. They would not be cool with that as an idea. Oh, you're 16? Yeah, I'll put you in charge of adults. Again, things were different back then, but I guess it's possible. But I'll tell you right now, if you have Disney Plus, go watch the movie Luck of the Irish. That movie is about white privilege, and you will never convince me otherwise. About a kid who has this magical luck, and then someone steals his luck, and then suddenly things are hard for him, and he doesn't understand why he doesn't just get everything he wants all the time. And his best friend is a African-American girl, and at one point there's just kind of like this moment. Oh yeah, Mickey Rooney is in Phantom of the Megaplex. It's still dog shit. That movie is garbage. But yeah, Mickey Rooney is on it. What's her name? Shit, I can't remember her name, but a big name is in Halloween Town. At least the first one. Maybe the first two. Deborah something? Look, man, sometimes those movies had big names. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the main Nazi from the Blues Brothers. But yeah, there's great moments in Luck of the Irish. Hold on, let me try something stupid. Yep, that was indeed stupid. Get on the thing. But yeah, there's a part in Luck of the Irish where like the white kid who has the Luck of the Irish starts complaining. And he's like, "Yeah, I used to like not even have to work. It would just come to me." And then one of his best friends who is not white is like, "Yeah, you're going to have to work for it now." And just like the realization like, "Oh, you don't just get these things," where it's just this dude realizing like, "Oh, I'm not actually good at anything. I just have this luck that takes care of all my problems." And you're like, "That's it's an allegory for white privilege." I don't know if we're ready to admit how smart of an idea that was for this stupid Disney Channel original movie. And the same kid who's in that is in Smart House with, I forgot her name. She plays Leela on Futurama and was on Married with Children, but I forget her character's name because I honestly didn't watch a lot of Married with Children. Also Sons of Anarchy. Katie something. She is in Smart House, and that movie is basically just Black Mirror before Black Mirror existed. And while it has some pretty cringe-inducing scenes, it does say an interesting thing about family in a world of technology. When I was 7 and watched the 1998 version of The Parent Trap, my brother and I had a thing for Lindsay Lohan in that movie for like a week. I just anticipated that she would grow up to kind of. You sure did watch a bunch of garbage from Disney Channel. Thanks, Squirtle. And thanks for putting it in the most delicate way possible. You sure did watch a bunch of garbage. Oh, man. I'm not going to say they were good. I will just say that they did bring up certain themes that we're talking about today. And that, in it of itself, is something. And then they did the movie. They have one movie that actually won. I don't know if it won an Emmy, but it won some awards called The Color of Friendship. And that movie kind of sucks. Even though it drops the N-bomb a couple times. And then it drops the South African version of the N-bomb. And it's like, oh boy. The Color of Friendship. Oh, wait, didn't we watch that? Didn't we both watch that? Just because I was like, oh my gosh, it actually has The Color of Friendship. I gotta watch this. And then we talked about it, because, man, The Color of Friendship is... Oh, boy. But Shadow, I think you grew up in a time when, like, movies of the week were, like, a thing. Like, Disney Channel original movies were basically just movies of the week for children. And, like, there were not as many of them, I feel like, when I got old enough to understand things a little easier. But, like, weekly movies, that's why we get some of the public domain movies that we're watching. We're just like, yeah. Occasionally a channel would be like, we're going to do a horror movie on Sunday for television. It's called this. And you're like, what? Simpsons, X-Files, Sliders, and Living Color and Martin. X-Files is like the one show I kind of regret that I won't watch the same way other people did. Because I've heard great things about X-Files, and I, wouldn't mind watching it. I don't have the time, and there's so many. There are so many X-Files episodes. Damn it. Give Sliders a shot. Jerry O'Connell jumping in parallel dimensions, seeing alternative Earths. That's... that does sound like a interesting roller coaster ride. How the fuck did I pour a bowl of Lucky Charms and only get one marshmallow? Well, times are tough. It's hitting everybody. You know the price of marshmallows are now? Thanks, Biden. Hope that I at least get to the last 3 things after cleaning up this ceiling. I have a feeling I won't, and I'll be pissed. I'll just start spot checking spots. Yeah, I don't see it happening. Yeah, that's for the kids with diabetes, or soon to be. Don't get me wrong, I loved Lucky Charms back in the day. But I think I have finally developed that adult stomach that's just like, what the fuck are you doing? And I wasn't a big candy kid at all. Like, I enjoyed some candy, but I never was like, oh my god, give me all the candy. I'm like, I'll take a couple Reese's and I'm good. I am all good, man. Song should not be in this playlist. There we go. Apparently I missed one of the clocks. I knew it. Really? Tunnel lights. I'm missing one tunnel light. Come on. Used to give my Halloween candy to my brother. Take the Twix. Yeah, I never... Like, I would get candy on Halloween, and then I would just end up, like, putting it in, like, the cupboard and having a little bit here and there. And then I always kind of wondered, like, why did I get so much candy? I'm not even going to eat all this. There we go. Platform walls. Platform walls. Platform light. Just didn't clean this clock at all. Alright. Platform light. Which one and where? Oh. All I needed. Jeez! Watch me take forever. This is a long one, man. Took 2.5 streams? Maybe 2 2/3? A candy tier list? Oh, damn. Candy tier list. Well, if I'm going to do a candy tier list, I will be honest. I'm putting Reese's at the top. Anything dark chocolate is going to be up there too. Three Musketeers. And weirdly, I don't like caramel candies. Like, I really don't like the Twix and the Snickers. I don't like getting caramel stuck in my teeth. The Uncanny Franny. Check out my new wheels. Everyone says I could take the hind legs off a turkey. So I'm joining the traveling fairground as a fortune teller. Got the name, and now I got the ride. Picked it up from an old lady at a bargain price online. I was the only bidder. She wasn't happy and said she'd curse me if I didn't pay her the going rate. But it's not my fault she didn't set a reserve price. It's not like she looked after the wagon. It's covered in anything and everything you can imagine. The rest of the fairground is pristine, so please help. Let's go take a look at this thing, and let's also do some shopping. I think I can just buy everything. Because I have, what, $3 grand? $3.5? $3,600. Let's go to here. I already got all the power washers. I have all the equipment. Let's see. Damn. Just bought all that shit. Buy black outfit with orange gloves. Damn. Can I change? Let's do orange. Boom. Alrighty. Wait, I can change. But how do I change? There we go. Oh, damn, it's gold. What's the other one? Oh, I kind of take that one. Yeah, take the flower power. Alrighty, can I get this done before the stream's over? Probably. Why don't you be my first subject? Because no thank you. I don't like... divine your past and future based on ancient technique of water divination. I was always a power washer. I power washed during the time. Let us spray. That's funny. I like that one. Let us spray. I feel like I would rip up a lot of their fabric if I just power wash the shit out of their stuff. That's just me thinking again. Said something funny and now it's gone. Setting. We'll take the inside too. Guys, come on. Come on. For reals. At least the pricing board is done. Yeah, I remember because I grew up going to church a lot. We did harvest festivals, and I didn't realize why they would even call them that because I was so dumb. But it was like, oh, they got to take the spookiness out of Halloween because that's of the devil. Yeah, they were giving out so much candy, and I remember, like, even back then, I was like, I'm not gonna eat this much candy. You guys can skim some. Just give me the Reese's. Just give me the Reese's. And then Three Musketeers. Those are my jams. I would do a Mr. Goodbar too, you know, peanuts. Get little peanuts in there, maybe a couple crackles. If you got those Hershey's Special Darks, buddy. Remember, kids didn't like that shit, and I was all about it. Give me those Special Darks. Give me those Special Darks. So tasty. I don't know how scary games are going to go on Sunday mornings, but that might actually be a good thing. It's kind of hard to tell with the crystal ball. There's a cat in there. Cat and the crystal ball. What in the heck? Cats are of the devil. My favorite was probably the cookies and cream Hershey's chocolate bar and Twix. There was a... Because most of the time, like Halloween, they're giving you the tiny candy, you know, so that they can get a bunch of little candy out to the most kids. So I enjoyed little M&Ms, peanut and regular. least the table is clean. Crystal ball, it's kind of hard to do. There we go. All right. This also reminded me of Stephen King's Thinner. Because there was a traveling circus of folks, and main character killed one by not obeying the rules of the road when he may or may not have been receiving a certain gift from his wife in the driver's seat. Not gonna explain further. But yeah, at some point the main character has to try and get those carnival folks to take a curse off of him. And this little hut is reminding me of those scenes. There's also a character in that movie named Kirk who was an asshole. It seems to happen way too much in movies. Anytime that there is a Kirk, it's not painted in a decent light. I'm already off here, might as well take care of the roof. Towards the canopy, I guess. Oh, man. Bitch canopy. In 2027? You mean 2017? Or do you already know the future and you know that's what someone's gonna give you? Hey man, I mean it was one lady, right? There's always got to be one that gives you a lesson rather than candy. There's always one. It was a whole street? Okay, that's bullshit. That's bullshit, I agree.
He really took it personally. Yeah, I'm also remembering, like, I did not do a lot of house trick-or-treating at all. It was a lot of church harvest festival situations. Okay, where is the parts of this fortune sign that I could actually get to? There we go. There we go. I 100% took that personal. I don't need 22 toothbrushes. Well, hey, I mean, think of it this way. Now you don't need a toothbrush for at least a couple months. Since you're someone who's used to being wish-wash always fitting, but now you have this renewed focus, like a 15. The writer of this game is a very funny person. I was like, when is that all gonna be cleared up? Like, I'm thinking, like, what in my 30s would I rather have than candy every time I went to somebody's house? I like roof trim. No. One thing that this game does, and I think it's purposeful, and I think I've even said it before. It seems like this game intentionally dulls the colors of everything until you get it clean. And then it pops the colors out, so you're just like, oh shit. To really give it a sense of, wow, you really cleaned it. Because it doesn't seem like this color at all when you start cleaning. But when you finish cleaning a section, suddenly it just gets more and more bright. I think that was a good idea. Giving someone a sense of accomplishment from the clean. I ate apples for 2 weeks straight. Hey man, I mean, at least they did give you something to eat. And I will say that because they could have given you toothpaste. And we're just like, yeah. Goes with your toothbrush. There we go. Focused. I got my game face on. I want to clean up this little hut. There's roof, and then there's roof ribs. Lived down the street from an Asian family that owned a restaurant. They handed out fortune cookies on Halloween. I thought that was fun. And probably a good tax rate. Or a good way to get rid of a bunch of fortune cookies if you just happen to have way too many. ribs. I got my roof ribs. I can't do it. I thought I could do it. Yellow roof ribs. Nope. Should have figured out the amount of syllables to do that dumb joke, and instead I just tried it like an idiot. Alrighty. The roof is clean. Double check sections here. Looking clean. So we got the section taken care of. Suddenly you feel the need to wash away the sins and malaise of the unfortunate. When Toys R Us was a thing, they used to hand out miniature Rubik's Cubes. Oh shit. Oh, Toys R Us. I have a feeling these wheels are going to be really annoying. I just got that feeling about these wheels. They're going to be really annoying to clean. Because of those nooks and those crannies. Stop it. That's not the button. That's not the button. You have a movie picked out for tomorrow. I'm glad you asked, because I just mesmerized myself. I do have a movie picked out for tomorrow. The movie before the horror movies start. It is called Prison Shadows. I believe it is about a boxer who gets framed for murder and has to deal with life in prison, at least for a little while. Prison Shadows, coming to you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Prison Shadows. And while setting up the movies that are going to be happening this month, I switched out some of them due to parental advisory things that I didn't find when I first got the titles. One of them was kind of like a, wow, I should have known about that. The other one was something that when IMDb didn't put in the nudity section, which I was like the only one that really is a worry. But there's another section that I now have to check for animal cruelty, because if they literally show someone abusing animals, I'm not going to play that shit. Ted Nugent's dad? Is that really Ted Nugent's dad? I saw Nugent the name. I assumed it was just a different Nugent. But holy crap, if it's with Ted Nugent's father. What a terrible job that guy did, eh? You're responsible for Ted Nugent? Ugh. Guy who sings songs about being attracted to underage women. And other horrible things. No idea, I just guessed. People who write songs about underage girls popular 50 years ago. I'm looking at you, Neil. Yeah, but I think they would, like other like musicians would kind of look at that and apologize and say, well, times are different. I understand how harmful that is now. Whereas Ted Nugent would be like, yeah, of course I'd marry a 15-year-old. Also, Trump 2021, God appointed him. So that's the difference between Ted Nugent and the others. Even though a lot of rock and roll icons of the past have their problems. Have their big, giant, glaring problems. Clean. There we go. Sweet Caroline was about a 14-year-old girl. All Red Sox fans love it. Yeah, that's one thing about, like, as we grow as a society and realize kind of some of the things that we've just accepted that need to be different and change. Like the way rock and roll and music in general fetishizes youth. Oh wow, looking into your future, it's really quite amazing. In what way, the uncanny Franny? I don't want to spoil it for you. Things you're going to do and see beyond your imagination in the next little while. They're going to blow your mind. I don't know why I got so all bent on cleaning the underside of this thing, but it's become the focus all of a sudden. Roof underside. Speaking so has become the whole thing. $69, dudes. Yeah, one of the films I was going to set up for the October streams, just double checking everything, and it was like, oh, there is a scene where one of the characters pulls a shark out of the water and then slams it against a rock. This was unsimulated, so it's literally just animal cruelty. And I'm like, what in the fuck are you talking about? It's like, I want to know more.
just from a level of like, was it planned in the movie for a character to do that? We're just like, well, we gotta have a scene where he just obliterates a shark. So let's find a shark and have him just, kill it. And it's like, what the fuck? Are you what? I hate this wheel. I hate this wheel and all of its nooks and crannies and stupid shit. Goodness gracious. All the nooks and crannies. All those nooks and crannies. Storage cupboard. There you go. Hey Doc, how's the wash? I'm backed up on Ramblin' Rushless. Never thought I'd say that, but the data is off the charts. Damn.
like, why does it need this little thing? Why does it need this? So that the whole thing can get dirty and all this dirt in all those little spaces. Why did you design it like that? Don't do that. I think that's everything. Oh man, I just wanna say that I finished 2 today because that other one was just a freaking beast. So long. With the other one, it was long, but at least the only thing where you had to get up on a ladder was the small section. But most of it, 95% of it, 98, you could just get from the floor. That I appreciate. The wheel is clean. Aw dang, Tampopo is on HBO Max? Oh shit. Better get it saved to my list. There we go. 90%. I also watched Half of Me a few weeks back. It should have been good, but it was really dull and stupid. What is Half of Me about? Alrighty. Axle mount, clean. Wheel, clean. Alrighty. Steve Martin shares his body with Lily Tomlin. I like them both, but all the jokes felt like they were written by an 8-year-old. Did you see that accusation about Steve Martin recently? Someone said he was abusive on the set of what was it? Little Shop of Horrors. And like most folks, when they get accused of such thing, immediately said that is not what happened. And I mean, absolutely, you know, all the best to the woman who says that he was abusive and physically assaulted. And, you know, I guess some offense to Steve Martin. It's like, how would he even remember, dude? How fucking old is Steve Martin? And he remembers everything he's ever done? I mean, no way. Like, it would not surprise me if he did it and just completely forgot that he did it. At one point, he was Steve Martin can do no wrong, really. He was just killing it on almost every level. Maybe he was just a wild and crazy guy. Yeah, that's the worst. I think I'm starting to get actual, real deal arthritis in my hands. Which could just be from a year of using a computer and video games rather than any other physical activity. My mom has arthritis, and I think she's older than you. Yeah, I was just thinking it makes sense because I have been using my fingers for computers and controllers for as long as I've been able to. Even when I was doing the physical activity at my job previous to this, it was still included a lot of computer work, so it was like my fingers and hands probably got arthritis in their future. Boom. Staircase handrail clean. I do enjoy the visual that just something is smoking in the background of this entire level and most of the game. There's always something smoking in the background. The mask is always smoking. A classic Jim Carrey film. I don't know why I just hate using ladders in this game. Two of them. Skylight roof underside. That'll do it. Where is it? There we go. Son of a bitch. Seat. more than one. Hold on. I got that one. I don't know what that word is. This one is hard because of its location. Have you cleaned the mayor's house yet? Well, I cleaned up the front of it, and then I cleaned up the like boat in front of his place. I don't know if there's another one. Roof trims. Shit. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, the roof. The mayor's gate. Yeah, I did the mayor's gate, and then I did the mayor's boat. Roof trims. Want to help me out here, roof trims? Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down now. Okay. Boom. I got your details from Harper helping us with a historic dig. Fancy getting involved. All right, let's take a look at this. Boom. Wagon looks great. Thank you so much. Mind how you go, eh? All right. Clean the ancient statue. Let's just take a look at this one. But I'm probably going to stop there. Take a look at this bad boy. Oh shit, that's the van. The van and the RV. Oh boy. Look at you. I feel like that's a good way to break it. Have me pressure wash it. Oh, dang. It's very, Aquaman Waterworld situation. Bushy, thanks for heading all the way out here, out of town. It's great to catch up again. Yeah, I don't remember what job Harper had me do earlier. You believe the quality of the statue? This thing's over 8,000 years old. I think it'd be pretty awesome if, like, right after you clean this, it just falls apart. Because you really shouldn't be hitting this thing with high-pressure water. At least I don't think so. In my non-professional opinion. Let's take a look-see at this bad boy. You found your old baseball jersey. I found one of mine. When I was helping my dad with some garage cleaning. I don't want to do a two-face situation on this guy for a minute. Clean half of this dude's face. this too quickly. Oh my gosh. Number 19. Not a bad number. Clean the eye. Guess we made it had an advanced mythology already. Web spine along the back, some sort of reptile deity. This one's kind of dope. Oh, that's how I got 19 in my username. I remember back in the days of AOL Instant Messenger, to date myself as hard as I can, my best homie, Alex, his name on AOL was codename Frank. And I thought that was really dope and wanted to do something in the same vein as codename Frank. And how come the ear slab is still not clean? I feel like I have all the sections of the ear slab as clean as I can make it. Alright, let's do something ill-advisable. There we go. Your slab is now clean. He had codename Frank, and I liked that idea, so I went with Agent Orange, because orange was my favorite color, and I thought Agent Orange was a cool name, not knowing what Agent Orange was. And then someone older was like, "Have you ever searched what Agent Orange is?" And I was like, "No, what is it?" And they're all like, "Yeah." And then when I looked it up, it was also like a punk band that I didn't think was very good. And I'm like, oh, I guess they're like, didn't want me to be associated with that shitty punk band. And then I did a little more research and found out what Agent Orange was, and I was like, oh, okay. Alright, well. This has been fun, but I'm feeling my eyes starting to get weak as I'm playing this, so I probably should call it quits. Prison Shadows is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Be there or be busy, I imagine. That will be the last movie of September, and then every movie in October will be a horror movie of some kind. Also, this Wednesday, I think is going to be Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, because On Guard kind of activated a swordplay kick, but I don't want to play more On Guard on Wednesday, so it'll probably be Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, where I can fight multiple clone drones in a danger zone. But after that, it will be horror games for the month of October. And at the end of all of that, the first week of November, on that Saturday, will be the 24-hour stream, which will be a public domain movie marathon. The list of films and the order they will be in are on the Extra Life page that is already up. Link is in the description, as well as on Instagram in the link tree, I believe. Talk to you tomorrow or in the Discord. Yeah, join the Discord if you are just watching and you want to hang out with some of the folks that watch the stream and myself. We're on the Discord, mostly dropping gifts, hot gift fire, but sometimes there's some puns. And sometimes there are announcements for the stream and other stuff, just hopping around that Discord, and announcements of podcasts coming out. I do a podcast with my brother called NYPD Blue Balls about the best show ever, NYPD Blue, which has gotten a lot of articles written about it lately because it's celebrated its 30th anniversary of the pilot, which I thought if I had a decent amount of people with Amazon Prime subscriptions, we could actually watch NYPD Blue on the stream together. So I don't know who has an Amazon Prime, but that could be coming down the pike, just watching some NYPD Blue with me on stream. But yeah, other than that, we're going to be putting down PowerWash Simulator for a while, which is probably why I'm continuing to clean off this statue, because I know that eventually I'm going to be putting it down for a while to focus on those horror games, but we'll definitely pick it back up because the DeLorean from Back to the Future is coming to this game, so I will definitely be down to play the hell out of that, let me tell you. 30 years, yeah. 30 years of since the pilot, back in 1993, when it changed television and introduced us to one of the best characters television has ever produced, Andy Sipowicz. Not a good person, but a great character. But yeah, need to find that account info for Amazon Prime. Yep. So that's happening. I've guested on a podcast or two that's going to be coming out sometime. I'll have them let me know when those will drop. And, of course, have a good rest of your weekend and week. Hopefully, you know, it's not too hard of a week on you, and you enjoy your Sunday. Gosh, this game is just so comforting in a weird, weird way. I also got to see how far into the campaign mode. Of course, these aren't necessarily literal. The Egyptian statues had heads of storks and cows. What's you're saying that Egyptian mythology is not real? I'm telling you, man, it's Aquaman. Or it's an Atlantean from the DC universe. I swear, I'm going to be stopping soon. I swear. Give me a minute. Mom? It's cool to get like half of his body cleaned up. I think it's because I know that I'm not going to be coming back to this next week. And I'm not going to progress the story without the stream. So I'll just be cleaning stuff I've already cleaned if I play this again. I gotta stop. Thank you, everybody. Let's just go to career mode. Oh, shoot. It's getting close to the end, and then there's just all this other shit to do. Thanks again. Sorry for the long, drawn-out exit. Talk to you guys tomorrow. And on the Discord, links is in the About Me section. Oh my gosh. I need to stand up and stretch. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.